New this morning, this is new video coming in. A former Camp Pendleton-based Marine is back on U.S. soil after years of imprisonment in Russia. So here's video of Trevor Reed landing. This is at the San Antonio airport overnight. You see him right there, right by that plane. CBS 8's Chris Groh joining us live in Camp Pendleton. You've been staying on top of the latest developments. What's the latest now, Chris?
Good morning, Netta. And look, again, he is in San Antonio, but likely headed straight to a military hospital there in San Antonio. That, according to our sister station, who learned that from a source, because they are worried about Trevor's health right now at this time. At one point, they believe that he was coughing up blood, and that likely was due to the tuberculosis, and that his health in general was just deteriorating inside that Russian prison. Now, Reed, of course, was a part of a prisoner exchange between the U.S. and Russia. Reed was arrested, convicted, and then sentenced to 9 years in prison in Russia after he allegedly endangered the life and health of a police officer in a fight after a night out in Moscow. Reed and his family have long said that Reed was punished for a crime that he didn't commit. The U.S. government said he was unjustly detained, and it was because of his family's work raising awareness, as well as the diplomatic work going on behind the scenes, that led to this prisoner exchange. Of course, though, there are other Americans jailed in Russia, like Paul Whelan, who was serving time in a Russian prison accused of espionage. He continues to sit behind bars after he was arrested in 2018.
We have a close relationship with the Whelan family, and we talk to them regularly all the time. So our hearts were a little broken when we found out that it wasn't going to, the deal was not going to include Paul.
We know that the Americans have given up one of the concessions to Russia that they had. So that's now not something that can be used in Paul's case. It's not a lever that can be used to get Paul out of his prison.
And look, while Reed has been, of course, released in this prisoner exchange, if you take a look at your screen, that's his mother on Twitter continuing to fight for Whelan. So again, not her son, but as she pointed out, and as well as the Whelans have pointed out, the community of people who have family members who are jailed in international prisons, they have a tight bond. And so she is continuing, of course, to advocate for Whelan's release, for the U.S. government to try to continue to fight for him as well. Now, of course, with this prisoner exchange, the U.S. did release a former Russian pilot who was convicted of drug smuggling back in 2010. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison, and the White House saying that he was a nonviolent offender and that he had served, again, more than half of his sentence. That's why he was a candidate for this prisoner exchange that occurred in Turkey. Eric and Netta.